This is South African Roots, and today I'm going to be talking about the red pill and marriage, which I don't know if everybody knows what the red pill is. It's basically an kind of like an analogy where people are describing what society really thinks is happening, which is blue pill, and red pill is kind of what's actually happening. And I'm going to be talking about marriage with regards to this. I'm finding it's the new societal norm that people just get married, like engaged, massive engagement, married, massive wedding. 1 to 2 years later, they have a kid, they're divorced. Like, it's kind of like this pattern that I'm finding where it's kind of the new norm that people get married and get divorced very, very, very quickly. And it's sort of the 1 to 3 year period, I would say, where it's kind of like people are leaving, if that's the right way of saying it. And I would say back in the day, it used to be men cheating and, carrying on, if you will. But there's actually a new statistic, and I watched this on a show the other day, where it says 80% of marriages are now ending because women are leaving, not because men are leaving. 80 to 90% of marriages are ending because women are leaving, and they're leaving because they're not happy. And I just had to think about this, like in my own marriage. It's kind of become popular and exciting to be a single mom. It's kind of like the new rage where you get maintenance, maybe you even get a government grant. You're a single mom. It's kind of a vibe. And the moms go out and they have a good time, they party. Sometimes the moms don't even take the kids. The dads take the kids, but the dads are still paying maintenance to the mom. And they're just raving, like they're out there having their best life, but completely disregarding their duties that they had kind of signed themselves up for. They decided they wanted to marry these people. They decided they wanted to be moms. They thought it would be this amazing opportunity, this amazing feat, this great thing. And they're learning very quickly that being a wife and being a mother is not that easy. But the problem is breaking the cycle. Like, how do you kind of take marriage seriously again? Because that's really the problem. People are not taking marriage seriously. They're seeing it as a love. Like, you love this person and that means you're going to be with them forever. But marriage was never about that. It was always about duty and responsibility. And marriage was for the children, where you get married to ensure there's a unity between you, God, your husband, your wife, and that sort of relationship is for the kids. It's a stable foundation to build a family upon. But people are seeing it now as a love connection. And when that love kind of fades or dwindles, or it's not as exciting, it's not as passionate, they just jump out of the relationship, forgetting about the duty part, the honor part, where you're supposed to be honoring your kids, honoring your spouse. And another thing I've seen is some of these women are not happier, especially when you're finding a good man. And to me, a good man is just a basic man nowadays. Has a good job, steady, reliable income, good dad, good husband. That is actually what a good man is. He's not all these over and above. He's probably got a bit of a dad bod. It's basic. But some women leave this stable man because they think it's going to be fun, going out there, partying, vibing like they did back in the university days, back in their high school days, because women are having sex a lot earlier than men are, with multiple partners. It's actually another statistic that says if you've had sex with more than 5 people before you get married, the chances that your marriage will fail is 20%. Like, you have a 20% success rate. Whereas if you have had sex with less than 5 people before you get married, you have an 80% success rate in a marriage. So women are going out there, they're having a lot more sex at younger ages, and they just can't keep up their marriages. They want to go back to that life where they're getting a lot of attention, they're getting a lot of fun, good times, excitement from their previous lifestyles, but they're forgetting that that husband actually provided support for them. Their husband actually gave them money. So they're jumping out of these marriages, but then they're turning to their husbands and saying, okay, well, now I need maintenance. Now I need to maintain the same level of life that I had with you. But you could have just stayed with that man. There was nothing wrong with him. And this is not me saying women should be unhappy, but I find sometimes people leave their marriages and they're more unhappy. They never actually stabilize after being married. They're more bitter, they're more sad, they're more living a low-key life than what they were when they were married. And they're almost angry at their partner for them choosing to leave, but they chose to leave. And I think there kind of needs to be a new system on marriage where almost within the first 5 years of being married, you can't get divorced. Unless if your husband is cheating or wife is cheating, and unless if your husband is abusive or your wife is abusive. Those are the only two reasons within the first 5 years that you should really be leaving a marriage. Because people are just taking it not seriously. They're throwing the towel in 5 minutes in. There should actually be a law that social workers or a psychiatrist, a therapist has to be involved before you get married. You should be doing an entire marriage course about what marriage actually means, the duty that comes with it, the responsibility that comes with it, the real reason that marriage came about. And then thereafter, if you want to get divorced, you have to go through a same counseling session, but you may only get divorced if those two things are there in the first 5 years. After the first 5 years, if you throw in the towel, I mean, at least the government has tried to assist you in your marriage that you once prioritized and now no longer do. But there needs to be a new system to kind of make marriage serious again. You know what I'm saying? Mandatory therapy before you get married. It's just, I find people are mistaking love for lust, like lust for love. You know what I'm saying? They're saying they love this person when they actually lust them. And then they're saying love is more important than duty and responsibility. And then you have this entire breakdown of what the marriage system actually is. And it's just going on and on and on and on. And I know society sells this fairy tale to women where it's like a big ring and then everybody's in your business. You get to post it on social media. You have this big engagement. It's fabulous. Then you have this big wedding and it's this whole palaver about a wedding, a dress, a cake. And it's so exciting. You post it on social media and you get this validation. And then it's your first kid and you do it again and you post it on social media and you have your baby shower, your gender reveal. It's this whole thing. But what people don't realize is once those milestones are over, once maybe your first, second child is born and you've posted all this stuff and people have congratulated you, that's when the real work settles in. That's when social media is not gratifying you anymore. You have to find your own contentment within your relationship, within your family. And that's where people are falling apart. It's like they want this whole endorphin rush of the whole process of marriage, engagement, wedding. They want the whole thing, but they don't actually want to put any effort into the thing once it's over. They'd much rather just start anew with a whole new person. And that is literally the opposite of what marriage is supposed to be about. So I think there needs to be a new system in place that actually allows for some accountability for who you choose, why you choose them. Are you actually compatible? People don't even ask questions anymore. People get married and they haven't even asked questions of their spouse. Like I heard of a couple the other day, they got married quite quickly. That's fine. I don't mind if you get married quickly and it works out. That's your prerogative. But he literally wanted kids. And she was like, no, I never wanted kids. Like, how do you not ask that question before you make it down the aisle? And she was like adamant, like, no, I'm not having children. And he was like, no, I want to have kids. And now they're getting divorced. I think it was like a six month marriage, maybe a 1 year engagement relationship altogether. And they're now divorcing because they never actually asked any serious questions. And this is another thing. People don't actually put labels on their relationships anymore. It's forever just a vibe. It's forever just you guys vibing together. They don't sit down on a first date and say, what are your goals? Where are you going in a couple of years? How many kids do you want? What do you want with your life? Like, get to the actual serious questions. It's all just fluffy stuff, exciting stuff. You find yourself falling into an engagement, falling into a marriage, falling into 2 children, and you wake up and you realize, oh my gosh, this is not really what I wanted. But you never had a clear path, especially women. You don't even have a clear path for yourself before you fall into that situation. You kind of just want all the bliss and the kind of media and the fame about it, but you don't actually want what it means at the end. And I'm seeing it more and more. I've seen it in my own family. Women are leaving their husbands to go have a jolly good time because they've realized being a mother is really hard. Being a wife is really hard. If you look back in the olden days, lots of women want old-fashioned men that are kind of like rough and rugged. But women are not maintaining houses, cooking, cleaning, even if that is your only job, which some of these women are housewives and that is too much for them. And I know it's difficult for nowadays because women are also working and we also have our own responsibilities. But I feel like women have used that as a tool to get away from their husbands. It's kind of like, well, I don't have to put any effort in because if I wanted to, I could just leave you. And that's kind of like the attitude. But then why are you getting married in the first place? You know what I'm saying? Why are you putting that man in a position where he cares for you, he loves you, but you don't honestly have any intention to follow through on your end? And I think it's very sad from a guy's point of view. I think it's very sad from a lady's point of view. I'm not saying guys are innocent in this, but I do think we need to reevaluate the entire wedding, engagement, marriage situation, where we need to really take a truthful red pill and realize that the system is not working how it is right now. Girls are just, it's like girls gone wild. And how are we going to stop that? And that's all I'm going to say. And maybe somebody out there needs to think about it. Thanks for watching.